Hi, welcome to HeKate's Crossing. Okay, I'm unboxing the Labyrinth Tarot. It has arrived. Now, being in New Zealand, I know I'm a little late to the party. Everything takes a little bit of extra time, etc. So, beautiful box. Absolutely gorgeous two-piece box. Beautifully decorated. Forward by Brian Froud, which is interesting. Words by Minerva Siegel. Art by Thomas Neal. Neal. Okay. Insight Editions. It's beautifully done. What does it say on the back? Discover the secrets of the labyrinth with this official tarot deck inspired by Jim Henson's cult classic film starring David Bowie, featuring Sarah Jareth, Hoggle, and more as a classic tarot characters in original illustrations. This deck also includes a foreword by Brian Froud, artist and production designer on the original film. Illustrated 78 card deck, Jim Henson Company. That's interesting. Insight Editions, www.insighteditions.com. Okay, let's have a look. Beautiful two-piece box. Now, wow, that's beautiful. Purple inside. Neat sort of labyrinthy type. I don't know if it really sort of picks it up as such, but beautiful box, beautiful book, stunning. Wow. So let's have a look forward. Labyrinth, the movie, was born in the back of a limousine. Jim Henson, Wendy Ford, and I driving away from the San Francisco premiere of The Dark Crystal, when we looked at one another and said, "What's next?" At first our minds soared with images of flying mythical gods, and we soon descended to more earthbound inner world realms, and the vision of a human baby surrounded by fantastical goblin creatures emerged. We agreed that a labyrinth would serve not only as a physical location to anchor our developing story, but as a perfect metaphor for the human psyche's journey through the convoluted pathways of a cosmic world of mystic revelations. Well, that was the plan. Luckily, humour and a great sense of mischievous fun were added to the mix, resulting in Labyrinth. Wow, how cool is that? So it really goes on. Got a little bit of an introduction. Are you ready for the magical adventure? It's time to make your way through the labyrinth to discover the strange and arcane secrets of tarot card reading. The Labyrinth Tarot Deck and Guidebook, inspired by Jim Henson's iconic 1986 film, will open your eyes to new perspectives. After all, things aren't always what they seem in the land of the Goblin King. Tarot may seem like a deck of cards, nothing more, but if you use it with intent, it will give you incredible insight into any predicament. While many people think of tarot reading as a mysterious divinatory art used to predict the future, its benefits go far beyond that. Used properly, tarot can serve as a powerful tool for self-reflection and can offer deep insight into any situation or difficulty you might be experiencing. Though tarot reading can suggest possible outcomes and future events, remember that the power to change the future lies in your hands. Tarot is best at giving you situational warnings and advice to help you make mindful choices while navigating the twists and turns of your personal labyrinth. Wow, so this sounds really, really good. It's a great book. Next is sort of understanding, and there's a lot more to each page. I'm only sort of just skimming through it. Understanding your tarot deck. Learning to read tarot can seem intimidating at first, but it's really quite easy when you get the hang of it. 78 tarot cards in a deck, and each one has a different meaning depending on whether it's drawn upright or reversed. The first 22 cards, so it just talks about that. Wow, so it's a great little book. Okay, the major arcana. So the Fool. So let's just have a look and see what she writes in the book. The Fool represents someone about to take their first steps on a life-changing adventure. Sarah, like the Fool, is trusting and a little naive as she starts out on her quest through the Goblin King's labyrinth to save her baby brother Toby. Okay, upright, you're about to embark on a very important journey. No matter what sort of tricks, strange characters, and unexpected challenges you may encounter along the way, stay calm, kind, and open-minded will see you through your goal. And reverse, Sarah's frustrated while babysitting her baby brother and inadvertently asks the goblins to take him away. Little does she know her momentary selfishness has consequences. The listening goblins take her words seriously and whisk Toby away to the Goblin Kingdom. The full reverse advises you to avoid reckless behaviour and think through your words and actions carefully. Impulsively saying and doing things you don't really mean will only create a mirrored problems for you. What a great little guidebook. I reckon it's absolutely awesome. So now it's about understanding the 4 suits as well. So we've got the major arcana, which has got, looks like it's got some change of words, like 13 is fate. Oh, it's going to be interesting. And the demon instead of the devil. Oh, this is going to be cool. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the minor arcana. Okay, we've got the suit of poles, which must be wands. Okay, so poles is wands. Junk. Okay, junk is earth, so that must be pentacles. Okay, junk is in pentacles. Okay, feathers is ears, so that's easy. Okay, so what's cups? Pots. Oh, well yeah, pots is cups. Okay, so it's the junk being pentacles, poles being wands, so that's something I've already got to understand. Okay, and then tarot readings, caring for your deck. Let's have a look. Tarot readings. One of the most exciting things about reading tarot is that it can be personalized to suit your own style. There are no rules. Use it intuitively in whatever way feels right to you. Read tarot as often or infrequently as you like. Make it a sacred ritualistic practice. Take out your deck casually or read with friends. It's all up to you, and that's the magic of it all. Talks about caring for your deck, the different methods, different things you can do. Just gives you some ideas, which is quite good. Preparing to read tarot, how to prepare to read your deck. Every good tarot reading begins with a question. You can ask the cards anything and everything. What needs to happen for this relationship to reach its full potential? How should I prepare for my big interview? How can I come? All of Jareth. Confronting obstacles to get through the labyrinth and reach goblins. City tarot can give you useful insight and advice. Begin by being calm, etc. When your question has been asked, shuffle the cards. So just goes in a little bit about preparing to read tarot. Does give you some spreads. Things aren't always what they seem. Oh, that's quite good. The Masquerade, the Goblin, and Wisdom. Oh, I'll have to have a look at those. You have no power over me. Oh, that looks good. And the Doors Knocker's Conundrum. Then it's got a little bit about the author, about the illustrator as well. So yeah, there's a few spreads. It's a 5-card spread, 4-card spread, and a 3-card spread. Nice and simple. It's quite nice to see a book that hasn't got the Celtic crosses. Just keep the spreads quite simple. I like things aren't always what they seem. So what's this one? So sometimes situations are more complicated than they initially appear. There can be a lot of unseen elements under the surface. This tarot spread is designed to provide clarity by revealing the true nature of a situation. The Masquerade. This card symbolizes what appears to be going on. It's a base card that shows your current perception of the situation. The Goblin is the hidden aspect, and the Wisdom is the advice. It's interesting. So the Masquerade is what appears to be going on. It's the base card that shows your current perception of the situation. That's interesting. So masquerade. Okay, so that's interesting. So that's it there, just to show you what I'm talking about. Card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. Masquerade, Goblin, and Wisdom. So masquerade is your base, is your perception on the situation that's going on. This is what's actually hidden at this time, the Goblin. And then the Wisdom one, of course, is the advice card. So interesting. Okay, so let's have a look. So that's the book. So I've gone on quite a bit on that. Beautiful 2-piece box. Ribbon brings the cards out. Oh, I love the red stripe. That's really cool. That is such a neat. The back is beautiful. The cardstock is another beautiful cardstock. It's not too thick. Actually, this is really nice. It's actually not too thick, and I know it feels a bit clumpy at this time, but anyway, let's have a look at the images. So the full. Okay, so this is a new one. So instead of the lovers, it's called the dancers. Okay, I have to look at why that is. Okay, the chariot, strength, the hermit. Okay, the wheel of fortune. Oh, that's quite a good one. Justice. Oh, that's neat. Okay, so the hanged man. Okay, so instead of death, we've got fate. Temperance, got the demon instead of the devil, the tower, the star, the moon. I like the moon, it's quite cool. The sun, judgment, and the world. Okay, so now we're going into. Okay, so these are the wands. We start with the king, the queen, the knight, and the page. Okay, so now we've got the ace. Okay, so now we're going into the pips. And I know these are pip cards, but I quite like pips. Okay, so now we go King of Junk. Now Junk's pentacles. It's earthy. Okay, so now we go into the pips. So it's going to be all sorts of bits and pieces. Just the junk. Right, so now we've got the feathers. Okay, so that's swords. Okay, so now we go into the pips. Okay, so then we've got the pots, which is the cups. Okay, so it's your water sign. Okay, and then go into your pips. Into the pips. Okay, so that's really cool. So let's have a look and see about the shuffling. Well, it seems to shuffle quite nicely. Okay, you know I always shuffle my decks like this, which doesn't feel like it gives it much of a shuffle, so to speak. Just takes a bit of time to sort of mix up. So what I do, instead of just reading from the top or reading from the middle or, you know, pulling cards, best thing for me to do is to actually go, okay, so let's do a little bit of a reading. Okay, so I've shuffled, right? Now I shuffle all my decks this way. Okay, I love the backs. I reckon the backs are gorgeous. Okay, best thing for me to do is to fan it, right? This doesn't really fan properly, but let's have a look. No, it doesn't really fan properly. Okay, so let's... Still a bit sort of, I think it needs a bit more of a shuffle, or it's going to really stop clumping. Okay, so let's have a look. So the first one is the perception. I'm going to do that first spread, right, that I looked at, that things aren't always what they seem. So let's have a look at the masquerade, our perception. Okay, so we've got two of poles, right? So this, to me, two of poles is always to me about choices. The world's in your hands, could be about balance. You know, you think, what does two actually mean? Okay, if you're doing it that way. If you're looking at the Rider-Waite Smith type meaning, you are looking at sort of a sense of, to me, you've got choices to be made, like the world's your oyster, you know, the possibility, you're looking out into the world, that sort of thing. Okay, so that to me, so you look at my perception and what's going on. So my current perception of the situation is that I always have choices. The world's my oyster, you know, there is always possibilities. But let's have a look and see what it says in the book. It's about manifesting something important, still figuring out the details, take the planning process seriously, strategize carefully, set yourself up for success. So yeah, there's always choices to be made. I'm getting to where I need to be, etc. That's interesting. Okay, so the next card was the what's that in the goblin aspect of it. Okay, so let's have a look. Ooh, judgment. So judgment to me is that whole sense of maybe, so something's hidden. So it could be maybe my spirituality, awakening my own spirituality, maybe resurrecting my true self, blowing my own trumpet. Let's have a look and see what it says here. I love to see what's in the book. You know, this to me, we're just sort of exploring my own thoughts, and then we're exploring the book as well. This is how I sort of starting to work with the book deck. Okay, the door guards block two doors. Door guards block two doors, and Sarah must choose which to go through. They explain that one door leads to the castle and one leads to certain death. While the predicament you're faced with may not be as dire as Sarah's judgment represents, pivotal decisions that have major consequences. So judgment indicates you'll soon be faced with important decisions and warn against making an impulsive choice. Evaluate your options carefully and consider their possible long-term effects. Be sensible, smart, and act in accordance with your conscience. So here we've got the sense, I keep getting the sense of choices to be made, right? I keep getting that. So maybe choices are yet to be faced. Oh, so this is interesting, isn't it? Okay, so then look at wisdom, advice. Here we've got Ace of Pots. Okay, so that's like Ace of Water, Ace of Cups. Let's have a look and see what they say. To me, Ace of Cups means opening the lid to new possibilities. Talks about new beginnings. You know, what does one actually talk about as new beginnings, right? And water or emotions, cups, pots, is all about your emotions, your feelings. So this talks about you're feeling inspired and creative. Your ideas have incredible potential. You're onto something amazing. Maybe it's a new connection or a relationship. It's interesting. Okay, so I quite like that. You're feeling inspired and creative. Your ideas have incredible potential. You're onto something amazing. Sometimes the Ace of Pots represents anxiety, new connection or a relationship. So you're talking about choices and decisions yet to be made. Okay, so then it talks about maybe definitely feels like there's something happening, something exciting yet to be revealed. So that's interesting. Doesn't that look good? The colours are amazing. I love the deck. It feels really nice, feels really quality. Good guidebook, which is a must of course, just to sort of get to know the deck. So this is a deck that's going to take a little bit of a deep dive, a bit of a study, a bit of a work through, you know, work with it daily, get to know it, read the book, read my own thoughts. You know, even though I've been reading tarot for 20 plus years, when I get a deck like this, I really want to dive deep into working with the book. Not to learn it, not to memorize what the author has written or anything like that, but just to sort of get my intuitive thoughts about what the cards could mean on another layer. It just sort of adds to my bank, if you like, my bank of information that I can pull out if necessary. So interesting. Oh, I'm going to enjoy working with this deck for sure. I'm so pleased it's arrived before the weekend, if you like. So yay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love the quality. It is going to take a little bit of shuffling to sort of get the clumpy feeling out of it. It does feel very clumpy still, and I'm finding a lot of the decks are like that they feel quite clumpy. This is not as thick as some of the other decks, but definitely feels quality. It feels gorgeous. It feels really nice. Shuffles beautifully for me, but I don't riffle shuffle or anything like that. Riffle shuffle. I was gonna say ripple, but I mean riffle. But for me, it's definitely about this. It's a beautiful deck. So I've rambled long enough. I've shown you the images, done the first spread in the book just to show you. It's not really laid out like that. It should have been like this, but I just lay it out nice and easy. I'm not very good at sort of following, like, maybe I should really sort of show you how it's actually laid out. Should have been card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. That's what it should have been like. 1, 2, 3, but I mean, you can do it any way you like, really. I was just using so things aren't always what they seem. So maybe the choices aren't what they seem as well. Ooh, something to think about. Anyway, that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care and blessed be.